Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Last 5 video where I wrap up 5 books on a similar topic, in this case hockey romance books. And I am on the tail end of my chest infection, so I have a voice, but I have a handy dandy cup of tea sitting over here because I'm still coughing a lot, but we'll try and get through this as best we can. Some of these books I've had read for quite a while because they were ARC copies that I received, and some are fairly newer, more recent releases, but let's go through them. So the first one is Top Shelf by Teagan Hunter, which is book 5 in her Seattle Serpents series. I'm really enjoying this series. It's kind of a spin-off of the Carolina Comets world, sort of ish. There's a little bit of overlap. In this case, we have Gavin Whitlock, or Locke, who plays professional hockey, and Vanessa, who is someone he had a one-night stand with a couple of months earlier and didn't think anything more of it until he's at a party at his team captain's house. And Vanessa walks in, and it turns out she is his team captain's stepsister. Vanessa and her stepbrother do not get along, which of everything in this book was probably the most unnecessary little plot point in the entire story. So this does become a one-night stand story turned more. Bit of a forbidden romance because it's the team captain's sister. Vanessa has just gotten divorced from her husband. He was cheating on her. She has decided to move to Seattle to start fresh. She needs a place to stay. Her stepbrother is kind of unwilling to have her stay with him, and in the end, Gavin offers for her to come and stay with him, and it becomes a roommates to lovers situation. A couple of things I really liked about this. I mean, Gavin is one of the older players on the team. He's still kind of trying to prove that he is valuable to the team throughout the course of this book, and he is. And also, I mean, it's Teagan Hunter, so you have really great found family elements, you have great banter between all of the characters, you feel like you get to interact with everyone who you have read about before, as well as getting set up for future books. So those are the things that I love when I come to a Teagan Hunter book. I did receive this one as a review copy, and I'm really glad to be able to continue reading in the Seattle Serpents world. Then another review copy that I had was The Best Parts of Him by Amy Aislin, which is the first book in her Vermont Trailblazer series. We're following Ryland and Carl, who are both professional hockey players. We have in fact met both of them in a previous book, which was part of a multi-author series, but this is a new series on its own. And Ryland and Carl didn't get off on the right foot initially, but they have a friend in common. They both play for different teams, but they both end up on the long-term injured reserve at the same time. One of them has a dislocated shoulder, the other has an appendectomy. They end up spending time together helping each other out because they're both on LTIR and they both need some support, and one of them is more mobile than the other person at various things, and this allows them the opportunity to get to know one another, to sort of put some preconceived notions of the other person behind them. It's very sweet, it's very funny. The forced proximity situation in this was really cool. Like all of Amy Aislin's books, there's a lot of found family elements in it, which I love. That comes up a lot, particularly in the hockey romances. I like that found family dynamic. And one of our characters is also a secret children's book author writing about his own story, his own struggles growing up, and I thought that was a really cute plot point. Then I read Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer, which is book 4 in her Vancouver Storm series and is so far my favorite book in this entire series. We are following Alexei Volkov and Georgia Green. Alexei Volkov is a grumpy defenseman on the team who got off on a really bad start with Georgia Green, who is one of the team doctors. She is quite a specialist in her own field. Not outside of the teams which she works for part-time. Georgia is doing research into sports injuries and helping athletes to get back to their former strength quicker. And at the start of this book, they hate each other. Like, they are so mean to one another. I will preface this because you guys know I don't like when my main characters are mean to one another. They are just so sharp with their words to one another. Like, they are just so biting and they give as good as they get. So there's no power imbalance here. I hate it when someone is disadvantaged by that kind of relationship. But no, they both give as good as they get. And then Alexei needs to get married for immigration reasons because despite living in the US for years, being employed there for years, he is struggling with his immigration paperwork. Georgia also needs a partner for convenience, and so the two enter into a fake marriage. It is hilarious. Like, I have not laughed so much while reading a romance book like this, in terms of this is true hate to love. Like, this is top tier. And it all starts by basically them overhearing a conversation when they first met and taking it out of context completely. So not only do you have marriage of convenience, you have the only one bed forced proximity trope. It really embodies that whole idea of the fake it till you make it kind of situation where they're both just trying to power through a situation they don't want to be in. One of my favorite things in the entire book is that Alexei's mother was a florist. Alexei starts sending Georgia flowers all the time. And one day she discovers the book of flowers, you know, flowers and what they mean in his house. And she starts reading it and she starts realizing that he's been sending her flowers that have really negative connotations. And he doesn't know that she knows. And he keeps sending her flowers, and then when things shift and they start to fall for one another in reality, the flowers that he sends her shift as well. And so she realizes that that's what's happening because she has his little book. It was so funny, so laugh out loud. They were a perfect match. Like there's no imbalance in their relationship whatsoever. And I loved it. Then there's Puck Shots by Becca Jackson, which is part of the Love the Game series. And this one is a college hockey romance. You have Cosmo, who is a character we've been introduced to throughout the other books in the series, and he's a very happy-go-lucky character. He's queer, and he ends up meeting Eli, who is a physics major at his school. Eli, I think, ends up living at the frat house where Cosmo is. There's a whole lot of frat house dynamics and things like that. So if you've read Saxon James's Frat Wars, you'll probably enjoy this. It feels very similar in terms of tone and storytelling style. It was really fun. It was very lighthearted. It was a very easy read. It was nice to read something else by Becca Jackson because I've only read Totally Ducked by her so far. And I did forget to grab my copy of Puck Shots because I did manage to get an early copy of this when I was at Rare, and I was able to talk to Becca Jackson about it, and it was really fun. Like, I had a great time with it. Then we have Showstopper by Regina, which is part of Vino and Veritas series that I have been reading through this year, which, spoiler alert, I've finished. And this is Colby and Adam's story. So Adam is a hockey player. He has transferred to a new college midway through his schooling, which wouldn't normally happen because he has been drafted to the NHL, so he's already got his contract, he's already on the pathway, but he just wants to finish out school first. And he needs to finish up school. He ends up being transferred, and on his first day he realizes that his timetable is a mess, and he has been assigned a theatre class, which he is not a theatre major by any stretch, and he goes to student administration where he meets Kyle and is trying to get Kyle to help him change it, and Kyle is like, no, it's not happening. Later on, it turns out that Kyle is in Adam's theatre class, and so they end up working together and getting to know one another as Kyle is helping Adam to pass this improv class. It does turn into a secret relationship because even though Adam is queer, he doesn't want that to overshadow his starting career in the NHL, so he's not willing to be out yet. And this brings with it the issues associated with the secret relationship because Colby is out and proud and does not want to be in a secret relationship. It has some really cute things like skating lessons, and there is a improv grand gesture at the end when, you know, things all go to hell. One thing I will say just to be mindful of in this is that the reason that this is a spoiler for the book, but I think people should be mindful of it going into it, is that the reason Adam had to move schools was because he was accused of sexual assault. In this case, the claims were false. He and a friend or a partner were making out or in a compromising position, and the other person didn't want to be out at all and accused Adam of sexually assaulting him. I don't know how I feel about that as a plot point. Be mindful of that. It's a very small part of the story. It was kind of jarring when it did pop up, but the rest of the story, aside from that, like if that hadn't been in there, it was rather cute because I don't think I've read a romance book with improv theatre classes. And those are the last 5 hockey romance books that I have read. In the comments, I'd love to know if you've read any of them or if you're planning on picking any of them up. Otherwise, feel free to leave recommendations for other hockey romances down below. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.